Happy Tuesday. I am so glad that you're here. Today we have a special guest with us. I'm so excited, honored, and it is a privilege to welcome Rachel Ngom to the Jesus in the Everyday encouragement that we have every week. So she's going to share her testimony with us. She's going to let us know what it is that God is doing in her life. And we both love God and we both have a heart for others. And so I'm just so privileged, honored, and blessed to have Rachel with us today. So I'm going to go ahead and let Rachel do the talking, and I'll butt in every once in a while.
Okay, where do you want me to start?
Tell everybody what you do, who you are, and then just jump in where you feel led.
Okay, so I'm Rachel Ngom, and you did such a good job pronouncing my last name. So, I grew up in Chicagoland area. I played volleyball for University of Illinois, and I had a career-ending injury to my rib cage, and that was kind of a blessing in disguise because that was the first time God spoke to me was in college, and God told me to go to Africa. And I was like, well, how? I play volleyball. I can't leave. I don't know anyone on the continent, but I'll go. I just don't know, and then God's like, all right, here's the injury, here's the connection, and off you go. And that completely transformed my life. I ended up meeting my husband, became a different person, just so much more confident and trusting God more with everything. Came back, got married to that wonderful man I met in Africa, and we started a family, and I became an accidental entrepreneur. I say accidental because that wasn't my plan. I actually got my master's in social work and was planning on working for a nonprofit, probably resettling African refugees like I've been doing in college. And that didn't happen. So I was a part of a network marketing company at the time and grew that business to 6 figures. And then started another business a few years after that, and that business, She's Making an Impact, was what I was working on for the past 2017 to up to 2 years ago. And we grew that business to $1 million in annual revenue with me working 10 to 15 hours a week. We had courses, coaching, retreats, living on 3 continents. So we lived in France, Senegal, America while I was building that business. This was 2.5 years ago. I was still injured from that rib injury, and I was praying for healing because at this point it had gotten so bad. I was bedridden for 2 years. I couldn't pick up my daughter. It hurt to cough, to laugh, to breathe. It was awful. And so I've seen all the doctors for 17 years. I keep getting misdiagnosed, and the only thing I hadn't tried was prayer and fasting, but I'd never seen someone actually get healed through prayer. So I was like, well, might as well just try this. We'll see what happens. So I did a 5-day fast, and I didn't get healed during that fast, but I did find a surgeon and a diagnosis for what was wrong with me because I didn't even know what was wrong with me after 17 years. So I found the surgeon, the diagnosis, and a man called Dr. Randy Clark. I didn't know who he was, but I saw a video of God healing all of these people in Brazil, and it just increased my faith, and I was like, okay, well, if God could heal them, I'm sure he could heal me. So I went to one of Dr. Randy Clark's events in Colorado, and I didn't get healed at that event, but I saw hundreds of people getting healed. And it was and I had this radical encounter with the Holy Spirit that just transformed me. And I came back home, and my husband, after a couple of weeks, he's like, what happened to you? You're different. What happened? And that was kind of an impartation of holiness, I want to say, because God was just showing me all these things in my life that had to go of all right, well, this isn't good, we got it, all of these things. And it came down to a program in my business called Activate, and that was the big money maker of our company, generating $500,000 in revenue with that thing, and nothing else in the business made sense without that thing. And God told me, I'm not in that, shut it down. And so I'm like, well, that's not really what you want to hear, because this thing. You know,
I'm not so sure about that one.
I know, because this thing was like a machine. Like, imagine I'm leading a retreat in France, like dream retreat with clients, and I have people that are they're contacting leads, enrolling leads in this $7,000 program, onboarding them, coaching them. So I'm like essentially out of it. So we have this system in place for this program, and it's just like a moneymaker. It's a revenue generator. And God's like, nope, I'm not in it. And so I'm like, well, okay. So I was obedient. I was obedient and went through the process of shutting down Activate. I didn't know it at the time that the rest of the business model didn't work without Activate. And so I was like, oh, well, we could still have like Pin with Purpose and other stuff. And I was like, after shutting it down, I was like, oh, the rest of this doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And so like everything, we shut down everything. So all of our team members, all of our offers, everything. And this took about a year to offboard our clients that had signed up working with us, all of the, contracts, all the things that we had to do. It's quite expensive when you have to like pay people and pay coaches and pay team members without having the revenue coming in. And so this was a definite, it was a year of testing big time. And I would say that encounter that I had in Colorado, it was right after that I entered the wilderness for 18 months.
It's like Jesus with his 40-day fasting. Oh, wow.
Yes. So things happening that I had never experienced before, of having issues with the IRS, of back payments on taxes, with accountants, with team members, with clients wanting actually legal issues happening, so many things. I can't even relationship issues, but everything was tested. And I'm just on my face in my prayer closet, and I'm like, God, I just need you. I don't know what to do. I know that you are good. And in the midst of all of this, I trust you. And so I'm basically out of the wilderness on the other side of it. Because imagine, I'm still in tremendous pain at that point.
Well, that was going to be my question. So was your rib issue still a part of your wilderness?
It was. So so this is crazy. I had the encounter with the Holy Spirit, and at that point I had surgery, and I was actually doing better. I was back to riding my bike and everything. And I go back to another event with Dr. Randy Clark. His ministry is called Global Awakening. At that event, that was the first time I actually prayed for somebody and saw them get healed. And then I started praying for people and seeing them get healed, everywhere, even over Zoom, on the street, at the airport, at my daughter's gymnastics class, everywhere. And God was just healing all these people. And then I experienced an attack in the wilderness, and it was completely out of nowhere. I was at Jesus 23 with my son. We were worshiping. Jeremy Riddle was on stage, we were in the front row, and then all of a sudden, pain comes back, bam, bam, bam. I now know, don't come into agreement with that pain. I have learned that the enemy likes to bring false symptoms to get you to go back into fear. And that's what I did, because I didn't know any better at the time. So I was back on the couch in so much pain. And I'm now I'm in school at this point with Global Awakening, because I'm all in. So I'm attending their ministry school and going to Pennsylvania and just seeing the Lord do crazy things. And I'm having all these people pray for me because I'm in so much pain. I'm barely able to attend school and the conference and stuff and be there. And one of these guys, Jonathan, he was praying for me, and he goes, I see connective tissue. And I'm like, well, that's fascia. Okay, that's interesting. I wanted God to heal me right there, because Jonathan's telling me stories. He's like, yeah, this last event, this person was missing a rib, and God put a rib back into his body. And I was like, all right, Lord. I'm ready. That's how it happened, though. And it became this process of healing. And so I get back from that event after Jonathan's connective tissue. I'm not sure what that means. In my mind, I know connective tissue is fascia. And so by this point, I'm serving on my prayer team at church, and they put us into small groups. And the leader of the small group, I meet her. She's like, hey, my name's Sam. I'm a myofascial release therapist. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to work with you. And so I'm like, all right, let's work together. So I kind of prep her. I tell her about my injury, and I'm like, you're not allowed to touch my rib cage because I've been hurt by therapists in the past, and I like don't trust anybody. So you can do my whole body, but don't touch my ribs. And so that's what she did, and nothing happened. And then we had it like I had an issue and I needed emergency prayer, and so they set up this whole thing where they were praying over me. And as they're praying over me, Sam lays her hand on my ribs and she starts digging into my rib cage. And I let her because I'm like, well, she must have heard from God because I clearly told her, don't touch my ribs. And that's exactly what happened because she had her hands there and God's like, you have to like release the fascia. And she's like, God, are you sure? She's going to kill me. So she's obedient to the Lord, to like regardless of what I'm saying, and she does, and that's like what my body needed. I had like the fascia from the surgery, from the being bedridden and everything for 2 years. It had been constricted so much that it was causing me like spasms in my body. It was causing all this pain. No. So I've been seeing Sam every single week for the past year, and the combination of that plus strength training, I'm like in the gym, leg pressing 240 pounds, like,
wow,
back to beast mode, let's go, praise God. So God told me, like, I'm going to heal your temple, and I was in so much pain, and I'm like, I believe you, and I trust you, and it wasn't the way I thought it was going to be, but it ended up being even better, because now I have this beautiful relationship with Sam, and, like, we're really close, and, yeah, I'm doing really well now.
Oh, that is incredible. Tell us a little bit more about the wilderness and then how God got you out of the wilderness and what you're doing now. You said you were in the school.
Yep. So I was in the School of Supernatural Ministry. So I attended for 2 years. This past year, we actually just went on practicum where we were teaching and preaching. I got to go to a communist nation. I can't say which one because I would like to go back sometime, and it was illegal what we were doing.
We won't ask.
So it was amazing. And I'm actually going to be attending year 3 of that school. And I was praying about it because I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, can I go back to business? Can I do this? And they were saying, like, all right, we need applications for the internship. Today's the last day. And I was not going to apply. And then I was like, oh, fine. Like, the last hour, I'm like, all right, I think I'm supposed to apply. Okay. So I applied, and they gave it to me. And I was praying over it because I was kind of complaining about it, to be honest, because I'm like, God, this is 20 hours a week. It's unpaid. And also, like, I'm homeschooling my son, and what are they going to have me do? Don't you know how much experience I have? Like, I'm the one that runs companies, not interns for companies. Like, unpaid interns. This is literally, like, what's going through my head as I'm, like, talking to God, and I'm just like, and then God goes, I want you to do it. And I'm just like, well, clearly that's you. So that's what I'm doing for year 3, and that starts in August.
Wow. Wow.
So it'll be fun. I have no idea, like, the purpose of me doing the internship, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing, and I can help them grow the ministry that they have. So it'll be cool.
Oh, yeah. So how did he get you out of the wilderness?
Honestly, I think it was I actually did a whole podcast on the wilderness. I don't know if it was 1 part or 2 part. I think it's a matter of trusting God's goodness and faithfulness and actually, like, passing the tests that are put in front of you. And so it's like God puts us in the wilderness to refine our character for the calling that we have, right? And so if we want to be promoted to that next level, we have some refining within us and things within our character that need to be shifted and changed and molded for us to be able to handle that promotion and that next level. And so I think, not that I, like, passed everything God threw at me with, like, flying colors, but, like,
you're definitely humble. So whether you were humble before or now, you passed that part.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. But I think it was a matter of like how you handle the things that are put in front of you. So like handling, the issue with the legal stuff and the client. I'm like, well, I'm not going to fight her. I'm going to give her what she wants, and I'm going to try to do the right thing here. With shutting down the business, I'm not like, okay, everyone's got to go. I actually paid one of our team members as long like until the money was gone in our business bank account because I knew she needed it instead of like paying
Aww.
myself and our family. So I'm like, just a matter of like, what are the different things that are being thrown at you, and then how are you handling it? And then are you trusting God's plan in the midst of those challenges? And is your character actually being shaped and refined through that process? I think if you like fail the test and you're like cursing God in that moment, that you might be in the wilderness for a long time. But if you trust God's goodness in the midst of it and you're continuing to grow and rely on Him in those trials, not that you could get through it faster, but yeah, you can get through it.
Well, that just I love that because I kind of feel like that's where I'm at right now, where God has been just refining me and He's showing me different areas that I need to improve on. And I feel like I'm starting to pass some of those tests. I think I've been one of those that has been in the wilderness way longer than I needed to. But do you feel like, I know for me, as I feel like I'm probably coming out, I'm not exactly sure, that that trust that he grew with me or that he grew in me, it just like encompasses my whole entire life. Like it's not just a matter of choosing, okay, I can trust God in this situation, but it's God comes through here and I know he's going to come through with whatever gets thrown my way. So the fear and the anxiety, I'm not having to mask it. I'm not having to pretend it's not there. It's not there
Yeah.
because he has been faithful time and time and time again. Do you feel that way too? Like, can you look back and be like, yeah, so I was like at a level 4 and now I'm at like a level 8, or I was at a level 8 with my fear and now I'm at a level 2. Like, do you feel that too?
Yeah, just because I've seen him come through in so many different things that I'm like, all right, can't stress out and worry about this one because I know God's got it. Like, it's gonna be fine.
I always wanted to be one of those people. Like I always marveled at the people who like they're facing bankruptcy or they're facing this or they're facing that and they're just like, I'm trusting God. I'm like, how are you trusting God? This was way back before the old Sherry. Like, how are you trusting God? Like this looks awful. And they're just like, he's got it. And I'm like, how? But yeah, like once you've been through that refining fire, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a history, and you can look
Mhm.
back at like, look at what God has done in the midst of all these different things that I went through. And I think also, like, God confirmed a lot of the things that I was, like, that He was telling me. So, like, after He told me I'm not in this, shut it down, and I went through the process of shutting down the business, I went to another global event where I was ministering at, and someone comes up to me and he just starts prophesying over me. And he goes, God's having you lay things down in the season, and He's having you lay them down because you built it in your own strength, and it was you and not Him. He's going to rebuild it, but it's going to be Him and not you, so be patient. And so it's just like confirming, all right, I heard you. And then like as I'm praying, I'm like, God, I'm getting like anxious. Can I do something? Like I know you put me here to like build businesses and do this. And God's like, wait. And so then I go and another girl comes up to me and starts prophesying over me and she goes, well, God just says to wait. I'm not sure what that means. And I'm like, I know what it means. But he was just like confirming that you're hearing me okay, and like you're on the right path.
So does he still have you in the wait stage, or do you have like an idea or a dream or a vision or a something for your next chapter, or are you just still in the wait, trying not to rush ahead?
So the next step is actually writing a book about everything. Um,
Nice.
And God was like hitting me over the head with this. And I think I had like 5 people prophesy over me like, you're supposed to write a book. You're supposed to write a book. You like literally my supervisor for the internship. I jump on Zoom. She doesn't know me, and the first thing she goes, "You're supposed to be writing a book right now." And I'm like,
Wow.
and so, but I was like, I started, and then I got like stuck. And then this guy comes up as a guest on my podcast, and he helps Christian authors get book deals. And I'm like, You can't make this up. I'm like, I think I'm supposed to work with you. And when I like sat down to pray, the answer was like, I felt like God was like screaming, yes, like this is what I'm like, yes, go, like do it. And I'm like, I'm sending you all these people, just do the thing. So that,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. So that's what I'm doing currently. So I have an agent and working on that as well as the internship.
I am so excited for you. So excited.
I know. I'm like honestly, it's not something that I like want to do because it's a big project and I've never done it before. But I'm like, all right, I'll be obedient. Fine, I'll do it.
Exactly. I am so glad that I am not the only one that kicks and screams and talks back to my Heavenly Father and says,
Yeah.
really? Me? And you think about
Yes.
it, like, I think I was Gideon because I'm like,
Yeah.
me or Moses?
Yeah. Yes.
Me? Like, not me. No, no, no. I think you mean this person. And he's like, no, you.
It's
And
crazy.
he is the God of simple sentences. Write your book. Finish your book. Do this, do that. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't argue. I'm like, I so want to be the kind of parent that God is, because he does not, he doesn't get into the argument. Like, there's no argument with him. This is what he says, and he'll just say it, and then he'll wait until you believe it.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah. So, I'm so excited for what a great chapter that you're in.
Yeah. It's been intense, interesting, fun, and exciting, and weird all at the same time.
So, of this, once you feel like you got the impartation, so once you had that experience, what would you say has been the biggest blessing for you in all of that? Like getting healed, traveling, helping to heal other people. Like, what has been the biggest blessing for you? And then what would you say has been maybe the biggest blessing that people have said you have been for them?
Seeing people get healed and seeing people get touched by God, and just being like the donkey that he rides in on, like has been so amazing. So part of our internship, well actually year 2, our practicum, they sent us out to teach and preach, and they assigned me to do impartation service, and I'm like, well, I've never done that before. Okay, sure.
Can you explain for the listeners what impartation and
Oh,
impartation
sure.
service means?
Yeah, because I had no idea myself a couple years ago. So impartation is basically like receiving a gift from God through the laying on of hands. Usually is how it comes. And so I actually did like a whole training on this on my podcast too, I think. So basically, someone prays for you, and you can receive a gift from God through the laying on of their hands. And so examples in the Bible, Paul and Timothy. There's quite a few. If I had my notes, I could like go through everything, but that's fine. So during an impartation service, what I would do is share the biblical basis for impartation and share like where this is in the Bible. Then I'll share stories of people that have received a powerful impartation from God and what has happened to them after that, or like how God has used them after that. And then we actually pray for them to receive an impartation. And so that's what they had me do. We were ministering to these men who are former drug addicts, incarcerated, trying to like get back on their feet. And so they're like, all right, Rachel, you're going to lead impartation service. And I'm like, all right, God, you got to show up because I don't know what I'm doing and I've never done this before. And they gave me like 2 hours to prep for this. And it was wild. So like we start praying and these men just go bam, like falling over and like weeping and getting touched by God, and just like it was crazy. So getting to see God move in those moments has been really cool. Seeing God heal people in those moments. I'll tell you a story. I was at the airport in Orlando, and people talk to me all the time, and they usually ask me about like oh, you're tall because I'm 6'1". Like, did you play basketball? And I'm like, no, I played volleyball. But then I'm like, it's a conversation starter, I suppose. And this guy is like, well, I was an athlete, and then I like hurt my leg, and now I have screws in my leg. And I'm like, well, does it still hurt? And he's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, can we pray? And he was like, sure. And I get down on the ground, and he looks at me, he's like, oh, you mean right now? And I'm like, well, yeah, right now. And he's like, oh, you're going for it. And I'm like, well, yeah, let's go. So I start to pray, and I look up at him, and his leg starts to shake, and his eyes get really big, and he was like, oh, what just happened? And he gets completely healed while we're waiting for an Uber outside the Orlando airport. So just like moments like that of seeing God move in people's lives has been awesome.
Were you always this bold and courageous, or did you get it after your impartation?
No. No. Oh my gosh. Still no. No, God like has to work on me so much still. I remember when I was like a baby Christian in college that I was in a small group, and we were there was like 3 of us, maybe 4, and we were going around praying, and I had never prayed out loud with someone else in my life, and I near about had a panic attack. I swear. I couldn't do it. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the whole squeeze the hand thing of the person next to you.
I'm like, I literally can't. You're next. So it's kind of wild that like my church just asked me to lead a training service. We're doing like a prayer like day for the entire church, equipping the church in prayer, and they asked me to lead one of the services on healing. And I'm like, me? So it's just funny how God will like give microphones and stuff to the people that are like, no,
hard pass.
No, I'll just hang out. So like I really had to like train myself, because I would be the person sitting in the back of the room if I could, and like not talk to people. So I kind of had to like retrain myself to be like, all right, you have to go sit in the front and like go talk to people. So, yeah.
See, I would never have guessed that about you. Your personality is just so positive and so uplifting, and so like you just light up the room.
Thank you. No, I was very shy. Even like when I played volleyball in college, like my coaches would have to call on me because I would never want to talk or like raise my hand or yeah. So literally, it wasn't until I lived in Africa that God like helped me with confidence, because I didn't have any, and then like my confidence exploded because I was like, oh, I can do hard things. Oh, I can trust God. Oh, like.
Well, I'm kind of thinking moving to Africa is kind of a hard thing. So
you have no idea. It was crazy. I'm like one of 6 white people in my village of 100,000, and don't know anybody on the continent. And all right, you have to figure out how to like feed yourself and take public transportation and like all these things. It was crazy, but so good. It was like the best time of my life. I had so much fun.
How long were you there?
I was in Kenya for 6 months, and then came back and finished college, and then moved to Senegal for 6 months, and that's when I met my husband.
Oh, so you didn't even know him for the first half?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So when you say you were on your own, you were on your own.
I was on my own. Yes.
Wow. That takes a lot. That takes a lot. I give you a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, God gave me the little nudge. Go.
And that just goes to prove that when He's in it, it's gonna work out. It doesn't mean it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna work out.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so many ways I could have died. Like I got malaria and like all kinds of stuff. And then like I was like, here's your guardian angel. Here are your coworkers taking care of you to get you out of bed to take you to the hospital. Like all these things.
Wow. Wow. I could talk to you for hours. I have just thoroughly enjoyed this. So is there anything that you want to say, like any wisdom or encouragement that you want to give as we end today?
Trust God and know. One of my favorite books is from Dr. Randy Clark, There Is More. Like there's always deeper levels of intimacy and things like that we can go to with the Lord. So just keep seeking Him, and just anticipate and be ready for Him to show up.
I love that. I love that. So I want to invite everybody in the links below. We're going to have ways for you to get a hold of Rachel. Do you want to tell them real fast, and then I'll just include the links underneath?
Yeah, so rachelandgom.com is my website, and our podcast is She's Making an Impact. And then I have a free audio download for you. I actually created, it's all the Bible verses speaking about your identity and who you are in God. And I recorded it, so it's an audio that you can listen to every day to help you renew your mind. So if you just go to rachelandgom.com/who God says I am, and you can put that in the show notes, you can grab that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. And to everyone else, have a great day. Have a great week. And I will talk to you next Tuesday.